in the oven. The oven. The oven. Yep. The oven. The oven. The oven. The oven. Yep. The oven. The oven. The oven. Smells good. The oven. The oven. Yep.
All right, the oven's preheated. That's my Croatian co-host, Franco, a.k.a. Papa Fazul.
Papa.
We're the Oven Podcast. Today, we're sitting down for another mini oven. What's a mini oven? Me and Franco, we sit down, we shoot the breeze. The Oven Podcast, our full-length episodes, what do we do for those, Frank? We sit down.
Bring in a celebrity guest. You guys are now the fourth person at the table. And with just a little bit of unhinged dinner talk. We work with a bunch of different local restaurants. Some of the best local restaurants, in the area, Long Island, New York City. And it's kind of like this, just with no celebrity guests in the middle. Now I'm just stuck with this guy on my left.
Don't forget the Oven Podcast. Follow us on all socials. Keep sharing the show. And if you haven't already, spank that subscribe button.
Do it.
And today, what am I smoking on, Frank? I got a Cow Brasilia.
I didn't ask, dude.
No, you didn't ask. But listen, the people comment on YouTube. People have been asking.
Okay.
So, I got my cigar. That's Cow Brasilia. If I'm saying cow, if it's CAO, I just call it cow. If it's not, somebody let me know.
I think it might just be CAO.
It might be CAO.
You got that lighter?
The lighter is right here.
I may as well. I'm going to light up a little bit of oil spill from Neighborhood Gardens. I got it in this festive little red joint that no one wanted to take from me on the boardwalk. We walked up to every person on that boardwalk, and not one person wanted a joint.
Apparently, no one smokes in Coney Island.
Yeah, I don't understand. Not one person. I got stuck with 200 red, white, and blue joints that I'm still working on.
You'll be done with it by next week. But if you guys haven't already, Franco was on the Ignite Initiative podcast with Mike Lisi, whose voice was made for podcasts.
Made for it, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolute natural.
Yeah. He's got the voice for radio, you got the face.
Not for nothing, man. I mean, definitely go check out that podcast. And if you're in the area, you're looking for a great trainer, great facility to train in, Rise Above Fitness, dude, you got to check it out. You would love it. It brought me back to, like, my Stony Brook days. I walked in, I was like, damn, there's TRX bands everywhere. There's turf everywhere. It's just all made for, athletic training and stuff like that. And it's just such a beautiful place in Hempstead.
Sign me up. And go check out the episode Franco was on. But I'm ready to jump right into it.
Do it. Let's hear it.
If your boy transitioned, do you then give him a hug or do you dap him up? He transitioned from a guy to a girl.
I figured that.
What do you do? I was in this situation, real life situation. I didn't know what to do. It was somebody else that I knew. But they transitioned from a girl to a guy, and now I'm like, I didn't think about what I was going to do when I saw them. Like, is it the dap, or do you give the kiss and the hug now? I don't know I don't know.
Make him make the first move, Conway. That's the only. I'm not leaning in for nothing. No, listen. I would probably still go with the dap. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Do you see the video the other day? It was J. Cole with. It might have been D. Wade on the basketball court and his wife, and J. Cole just dapped up both of them, like instead of hugging his wife.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "That's like the G thing. That's like the man thing to do. Like, don't hug another man's wife."
I'm with either one. I mean, traditionally,
Yeah.
you're gonna hug somebody's wife. I'm fine with either way, but I respect the dap.
What did you do? Did you dap or did you? Or did you panic?
I panicked in my mind, but I went for the hug. I knew them my whole life, or their whole life as a girl. And now they're a guy.
Oh, transition to a guy.
Yeah. So I thought about the dap for a second, but I was like, I'm just going for the hug. I knew you as a girl forever.
Okay.
But anyway, brings me to the Olympics. When this show comes out... When this episode comes out...
Wait. No, I have something for you.
What?
I got asked this the other day. Just because you brought it up.
No, this goes right into this topic. Hold that thought for a second.
Okay.
All right. If all right.
Right into the Olympics.
The Summer Olympics, July 24th. The games open up. Officially starts July 26th.
Okay.
When this episode comes out, it will be July 24th. And I want to talk about transgender athletes in the Olympics.
Okay.
Since we're on the topic. I'm going to cite Newsweek on this one. I had to break up the notes.
Yeah,
I couldn't rely.
I see it.
And before we go on, If you haven't noticed, I got this bandage on my ear
Yeah,
that
what's-
Franco was supposed to ask me about when we opened up, but he never did.
Well, what's
It's
going
falling
on?
off.
What's going on?
Shout
with
out
it?
to my boy Trump. All right? Thank God he's all right. That's all I'll say about that.
That's all you got to say about that.
Back to the trannies. So,
Oh my God.
how do you feel about transgenders in sports?
Listen, if they want to play sports, play sports. But for me, I know that they classify themselves as, let's say, a male transgenders to a female, and they, classify themselves as a female.
They
That's
identify
all.
as.
They identify, and for me, like that's all well and good, but you can't jump into a sport that females are in. For me, if you transgender into that, maybe if they want to play a sport so bad, maybe they make their own league.
The tranny league, I'm with it.
But at the same time, you don't want to be like, oh, you have to make your own league. But I mean, it's such a slippery slope
Just
nowadays,
feels like we're
man.
living in La La Land.
There's no fucking right answer, and that's the problem. Because
Is there though?
No,
Is
I
there?
mean,
if you were born a guy, play with the guys. If you were born a girl, play with the girls. Do you agree or disagree?
I know, I agree. I mean, because
That is the- so that's the right
you
answer.
got to look at the different stats too. It's like that girl who was swimming, the transgender girl who's swimming. When she classified, I keep saying classified. Is that bad? When she identified as when she was identified as a male, she was getting smoked in the pool, absolutely smoked. And then now she comes in and she's winning races, like qualifying for the like. Come on,
As a girl.
yeah, like that's. I'm all for you doing what you want to do, but when it comes to the athletic world, I think there's got to be a fucking serious line in the sand.
Especially contact sports. And I'll move on saying that the International Olympic Committee recently updated the guidelines for the participation of transgender athletes in the Olympic Games. Now it allows individual sports to determine whether trans athletes can compete. Okay.
So they were just like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with the heat. We'll pass it to whoever's dealing with that sport.
Exactly.
What a fucking
What a
joke.
cop-out.
Yeah, what a joke.
So now, in the Paris Games, again, July 2024 is here. The new guidelines require transgender women to have completed their transition before the age of 12 to be eligible to compete in women's categories. So if you transitioned before you're 12, you can play as a female, which I still don't agree with.
I mean, bro, transitioning before you're 12. When you're 12, do you even know exactly like what the fuck is going on in the world?
Don't get me started on that. I mean,
I-
people letting their kids transition before they even know,
Listen, again, I'm all for whatever you guys want to do, but there's just some stuff that, again, is a slippery slope.
But shout out to the 10 Olympic sports that restricted the participation of transgender athletes. Shout out to them. Those sports include cycling, swimming, rugby, rowing, boxing. I mean, boxing, that's, thank God.
Rowing, too. Rowing is a freaking
Absolutely.
animal of a sport.
And the triathlon, tennis, and archery, they required specific levels of testosterone to be able to take part.
Okay,
If you transition to a female.
Yeah.
What else do I got here for you? I just found this very interesting. I was on I was in a rabbit hole today.
Yeah, at
And
work.
You got we won't say at work, but you got 20 states implementing policies that restrict this is in the U.S. obviously. 20 states implementing policies that restrict transgender athletes' ability to participate in sports that correspond with their gender identity. Those laws sparked lawsuits arguing that transgender athletes were being discriminated against. And here's my biggest beef with the whole what do you identify as? Because now you got people not even identifying as male or female. You have people identifying as furries and shit like that, which obviously we've spoken about. So what? You identify as a bobcat? You identify as a coyote? If I see you walking in the fucking woods during open season, does that mean I can take a shot? This is the kind of stupidity that, it's like,
You sound like Elmer Fudd over here.
there goes my earpiece.
There
But
it
I'm
is.
saying, like it's just, what? So now we can hunt you? Literally, if you decide to wake up tomorrow and you identify as a bobcat,
I would never identify as a bobcat. I'd identify as a squirrel before a bobcat for sure. If you can identify as one animal, what would it be?
killer whale. You?
Squirrel.
You're a fucking clown.
So we brought this up a couple probably before I left. So 2 weeks ago, it kind of plays in hand with this whole transgender rant that you're going on. I was in the car and my work partner looks at me and goes, "If you were a girl, would you be a slut?" And I looked at him and I for some reason just looked at him and was like, "Absolutely."
I mean, you gotta imagine. I'd only go for big cock for sure. I mean, like, if you're gonna be a girl, you gotta if you're a guy, if you're a guy, you'd rather it be tighter, right? So I'm imagining if I'm a girl, I'd rather it be bigger.
You got a good base. You
got a
definitely have a
solid
good base.
base. I got cake for days.
But you would be the hairiest girl.
I'd be like all the girls I've dated.
Mario is his type.
Yeah, I mean,
I couldn't believe it when he said it. I just looked at him.
what?
It was so out of context too.
So, would you go? So you said you'd be a slut. Would you go for big dick?
I wouldn't suck dick.
I never said suck. I said, would you go for big dick?
I
You
mean,
gotta imagine that you would,
I mean,
unless you're a pussy.
but like, how would you even know? Because like we're walking around with just like everything covered. They're not like you could see big tits. You can't see you could see a big ass, but you can't see a big dick.
There's girls who claim that they can tell.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm just.
They
No,
can
I'm just saying.
tell?
Never mind. So okay, fine. You find out. Are you gonna continue to see someone? You know what I mean? Like,
Going on
just
date
answer
2?
the question. Yeah, are you going on date 2 if he has a small dick?
No, I'm not.
This is the weirdest conversation we've ever had, and it came from you, not even me.
Oh man, I'm telling you, when he said it to me, I was like, I have to bring this to Mario. Because Mario would be a fucking slut.
Slut me out.
That's it. Wedding season, full effect. Full effect. I need to get your opinion on this. I kind of feel like I already know your opinion on this, just because you kind of probably know how I feel about it. But if I am in the wedding party, why the fuck do I have to send you back an RSVP? Like, why are you sending me an RSVP if I'm in your wedding party? I'm going. Like, I don't really have a choice. You know?
There comes a time in life
Here we go.
where you got to grow up, Peter Pan. And sometimes you just got to do something even though it doesn't make sense to you. Grow up and RSVP. These people are planning their wedding
And they know I'm coming.
all day, every day, and they got to worry about who decided not to RSVP that's actually coming to the wedding. And now some of it is automated where you do it online. So now they're not getting a physical RSVP, you're RSVPing online, and now you mess up the numbers. They're not even thinking, oh, well, Franco didn't even RSVP.
Well, Franco's
I'm
in the party.
No, well, Franco's in the party, but everyone needs to RSVP.
If I'm not in the party, I'll RSVP.
Grow up and
it's-
just do it.
I don't know. And then you send me an Evite? Dude. We're talking about growing up, but Evites, bro, just send me a text. I can't.
Why do they have to change the way they're planning their wedding? Because you can't
No,
just
not
hit
even
a button.
not even a wedding, like a birthday party.
Honestly, though, those are kind of convenient.
You
'Cause
think?
I almost forgot a few parties if they weren't on my calendar.
Well, I get invited to a party, I put it right on my calendar. And I tell them yes in a text message. You know what I mean? I guess you don't.
No, I'm 50-50 on the Evite with you.
The
but
Evite's like I don't check my email like that.
The RSVP,
And
Grow up.
how are they getting my email? I've never given out my email like that. Where are they getting that from?
they might find you on Evite if you already gave your email. I don't know. But usually you get the text and then you sign up with your email.
I don't know. I don't really remember. You ever eat the wedding cake? I think I've never eaten the wedding cake.
At a wedding?
Yeah.
I
What do
rarely-
you mean? Where else? Where else?
I don't know. But lately, no, I haven't eaten the wedding cake. No.
I feel like we've been to so many weddings. I don't know if I've ever had the cake. Fiore has gelato coming after the mass.
If it's not tres leches, I'm down for gelato.
You don't like tres leches?
No, I'm saying nobody does a tres leches wedding cake. I haven't seen that yet.
No.
If they did, I'd be so in.
Yeah, I would probably try it. That's your favorite cake?
Tres leches, cheesecake, and red velvet if it has the cream cheese icing.
It's got to have the cream cheese icing. But I'm not a big cheesecake guy. Like, never have been. I'd rather like a key lime. I'd rather like a key lime pie or.
You like ice cream over cheesecake?
Oh, for sure. I don't think I could eat ice cream anymore though. I'm absolutely convinced that I'm like done with ice cream.
It's hurting you.
Yeah. Yep. I think I've hit that phase in my life. 32, ice cream done.
So give up ice cream and start sending RSVPs, kid. Oh well. But I got more notes.
More notes.
More notes. I just had, I don't know. You know, I had some downtime. Couldn't fit it all on my phone.
So you typed it.
Well, I didn't. I wrote on pre-typed notes.
Dude, you have some pitiful handwriting.
I was supposed to be a doctor.
No,
I fucking let my parents down. I went from doctor prospect to podcast with my lifelong friend out of my grandma's garage.
Nothing wrong with that. You got some shitty fucking handwriting, though. You look like a lefty.
July 24th, when this episode drops, the MLS All-Star Game. 8 p.m. It's the MLS All-Stars against Liga MX. So the best players from the Mexican League, the best Mexican League, play the MLS All-Stars.
How many teams are in the MLS?
I don't know the exact number, but what I can tell you is that I don't like this format. If you were a player, okay, it takes away from, one, the MLS, basically admitting, hey, we're not exciting enough to do our own all-star game with just our players.
Yep.
It's them admitting that.
Yeah.
And it robs the best players from getting a chance to shine on national TV. And I personally think in soccer there's enough international tournaments and friendlies.
Yep.
Let the American teams, the MLS, because obviously there's Canadian teams in the MLS too, let the MLS play against the MLS, the best players in the MLS. The pros, though, I will say, it gives fans better talent to see. But again, goes back to there's so many tournaments in soccer every year. There's so many friendlies. They can watch them on their own time. And it does create international buzz for better marketing for the MLS.
Yeah.
But
help it build it a little bit.
Like, give the fans a chance to fall for a player in the MLS.
I could think that's why I asked how many teams there were. Because if there's only like 10 teams, how are you going to feel the whole... You're going to have 7 guys from each team.
I'm going to look it up now. I want to say there might be 30 teams.
30 teams in the MLS, really?
How many teams in
Phil,
the MLS?
don't look too excited over there, right? Don't look too excited. You're rocking me to sleep over there.
29 teams.
29 teams.
Yep.
Wow, good for the MLS.
26 in the U.S. and 3 in Canada. So as an athlete, how do you feel about it?
Feel about what, them playing the Mexican League?
Yeah, them deciding to play against the best players from MX.
I think the only, you kind of touched on it, the only benefit that comes from it is international marketing, where you have Mexico and the U.S. putting it on. But how many guys make the team? 1 or 2 guys from each team then? And it can't even be two. If it's 2 guys from each team, it's 40 guys, bro. 50 guys.
No, I don't even. I don't know exact. It says 12 of the players on the MLS team will be chosen by the head coach, and then you'll have a few subs as well.
Interesting.
But it's not even like you're deciding to bring in like crazy talent to play the MLS. You're bringing guys in from Mexico.
Yeah.
It's not like you're bringing in like Ronaldo or Mbappe.
Yep.
Like
I can't even name one Mexican player. MLS is just not the. I want to start getting into soccer a little bit, man. Just I want. What's the place that you want me to do a day in the life of?
Tutto Calcio.
Tutto Calcio.
It's an espresso shop in a little cafe in Whitestone. Watch some soccer.
They got iced coffee.
Yeah, they got iced coffee.
Okay. All right. Well, we were there.
We stopped by.
We did. All right. I remember that. Well, I was in shambles that morning. You called me how many times? 136 times to wake me up in the morning.
maybe 60 times.
I think it was more than that, dude. Oh, man. So, down in Texas, we were there for the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game. I had an unbelievable lobster roll. Unbelievable. And for the first time, it was a hot lobster roll. I've always gone cold. This time was hot. I think it might have made me change my ways.
Really?
Yeah. It was. It's got to be. I mean, this place was so good, man. It was like a barbecue spot, but like they had this. Even the waitress was like, "This is what you go with." So I'm sitting. I'm like, yeah. I'm like the lobster roll came out, and it was probably the best meal I had there.
Really?
Yep.
I prefer warm lobster.
Do you?
I feel like it's more flavorful.
Yeah,
I feel like
I think that's kind of why I liked it. It was definitely more. There was more flavor to it, but I like the cold lobster with like the warm bread. It gives me like that little bit of a mix.
You don't like the double warm, the warm and the warm?
Well, I did. I think I'm changing. I'm like kind of torn. I'm still like kind of torn. I don't know which one I want to go with. But I think that was my first time ever having like a hot lobster roll, and it was phenomenal.
You should just order hot and cold alternating every time you go out there at a place that offers it until you decide.
Yeah, until I like which that's not a good idea.
Cholesterol will probably be through the roof, but
Out.
But before we close out, I just want to bring up one more question for you.
Okay.
What's the rule about rooting against one of your team's rivals in a game that doesn't matter to your team?
So, for instance, like
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, give me a for instance.
A few days after this episode drops, Phyllis and I are going to go see Man City versus AC Milan.
Okay.
I would never root for AC Milan during the Italian league, Serie A. Serie A.
Serie A?
Yeah. I would because of Napoli.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Why they're in the same league?
But now I feel Serie A is the league.
Okay.
So I feel like on Saturday when I go, I should root for AC Milan because they're the Italian team. Like this doesn't matter to Napoli.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could root for them. You can't wear a jersey. Like if you get a jersey, that's a sellout thing to do.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't even get a hat. I would wear it. I mean, I wouldn't. I would just go if I'm going to that game. I wouldn't even wear a soccer jersey if they're not playing. That's another thing that comes from this. If you're going to a professional game, like you're going to a professional baseball game, and the Yankees are playing the Rays, don't wear a fucking Mets jersey. Don't wear a Braves jersey. Don't wear a fucking jersey if your team's not playing. You just look like a fucking asshole walking around. You really do.
I don't feel as passionate as you do about it, but I agree with you.
Like especially like if you're going somewhere else and you see like a Yankee jersey with the fucking name on the back and they're not playing, you're like, bro, like you can't be doing that. That's like that should be a cardinal rule. If you're not wearing a team's jersey that's playing here, like the Marlins man that just goes everywhere he wants and sits behind home plate, that's fine because he's fucking just throwing bread everywhere. But like, and he has a spiel. But when you're walking around at a Yankees Rays game in a Mets jersey or something else, that's crazy to me.
So Mets fans that root for Yankees fans that root for Mets, how do you feel about it?
I'm fine with that. I think we're at this point more Yankee fans would root for the Mets, because Mets fans just fucking hate the Yankees for some reason, probably because they just don't win.
Yeah,
but
sore losers.
Yeah, but for me, like I have a Mets jersey. It's a Jankowski jersey, but I would never own another Mets jersey. If like he's my boy.
Right. Of course, that makes sense. That's your boy.
But like, I would never like we have the Oven jerseys, like the Oven Mets jerseys. I wouldn't wear an Oven Mets jersey
to a Yankee game.
To a Met game.
Oh, you're saying you wouldn't wear?
Yeah,
one.
I wouldn't wear. Yeah, I wouldn't wear one.
Okay. But it's okay for me to root for a Subway Series in the World Series every year.
As you should. Fuck, as you should, man.
I wish we were older for that because that was in 2000. We were 8 years old.
Yeah, there's no sports rivalries like that no more though. Like the Yankees Red Sox.
These players are soft now.
All the NBA players are divas helping each other up. The football guys are smacking each other on the ass after a big hit. Yeah. I'm like, bro, like, what are you playing in your backyard? Like, I get it because they're all making cash now.
Exactly.
But like, come on, like, not many of them have like that. like that monster attitude anymore. Like the Shaqs back in the day, like the Kobe's. Like you weren't. They wanted to bury you on that court.
And they were making money.
Yeah,
They just nobody has that hunger anymore.
yeah.
I shouldn't say nobody.
Yeah, I should say
Some
no.
guys
yeah.
do.
Some guys do.
Some guys do.
But it collectively as a team, you don't see many guys.
Yeah.
Before we sign off, I want to talk. I actually saw my first Cybertruck today. Driving. I've seen a Cybertruck like in the parking lot and stuff like that, but I saw it driving. They're fucking ugly, dude. I really don't. I don't understand. They're like a driving refrigerator. It looks like
That is a great analogy.
like they passed by and I was like, I wouldn't really want to drive that.
Yeah, what's the hype about it?
Yeah.
What?
Well, they do look like they're from the future. Like if every car is gonna look like that in the next 10 years, it looks like every movie that we've watched growing up
Pretty soon
about the future.
We'll be flying in cars.
Yeah, like the Jetsons. That's literally a Jetsons car, just without the little dome on the top.
Yeah. You are you getting an electric car next?
Nah, I mean, if I like I'm sticking with the pickup forever. I think at this point.
You know me, I want to go back to a pickup. I miss my pickup.
Yeah, the pickups where it's at, man. I don't tow anything, but like it's so
I
beneficial.
don't use it, but it's sick.
No, it really, like the off road package is great, and like you always have room to store something, and if you're going on vacation, you could bring everything you need. But I would go electric if it's a good deal, Why
Bargain,
not? Yeah.
Bargain shopper over here.
But I mean, everyone's saying cars and trucks right now are crazy through the roof. I haven't had that problem.
I actually got my first letter to trade in my lease.
Yeah, your car's up.
It's like within that 6 months now. So they try to get you before your lease is up.
I can't wait till you get a truck so you stop driving like a fucking asshole. That's gonna be the day.
Listen, you pay a lot of money for your car. You want to see what I paid for.
Yeah, go to Ocean Parkway at 10 p.m. and you'll be fine. Give me a heart attack every time we're driving. We're about to go out to Patchogue to see our boy JP, our producer over here.
Great South Bay. Oogie Wawa.
Oogie Wawa.
Let's go. See you in a bit, JP.
That's it, man.
Another mini oven in the books. Don't forget, we're the Oven Podcast. Follow us on all socials. Keep sharing the show. And if you haven't already, keep spanking that subscribe button.
And like Mario usually says, there's always an open seat for you on the oven.
Hey.
Keep it cooking in the